So now a little bit of practical advice. What, for somebody that's watching this that really wants to become like a nomad, wants to live that travel life, what practical advice would you give to somebody that's just starting at square, point zero?
Yeah, so the first thing is, the most important thing is obviously your income. So if you have that figured out already, then like you're good. Like if you have your income figured out, that's like, yeah, you're good from there. But obviously that's one of the biggest things. So either finding a way to work remotely, finding something online, doing all that different type of stuff. That's the first thing you want to kind of secure. Or if you're going off of savings and you're just looking to travel for a bit. So a lot of people teach English. A lot of people do, just different, like people work on yachts, do all this different type of stuff. So just finding that. But after that, like literally I would just go on YouTube and search the different places you ever thought of living. So like if you thought of Japan, if you thought of Brazil, if you thought of that, like just look it up, see how it is there, see what the weather's like, because that's a big thing. Because you might think like, oh, every place in Asia is going to be hot all the time. Like, nah. Like you go to some places in China, you go to some places in Japan, like it might snow. Like, and then like even Africa, like it gets cold in Africa. Like like in Egypt, they wear jackets in the winter and stuff. So like, yeah, look up the weather, look up and just like stuff that you like to do. And then the internet. Like even if you don't work online, internet is a big thing. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like an internet nerd when it comes to looking at speeds. So that's one thing I also look up.
To be fair, I think all digital nomads do that. It's you get to a speed test.
I need to check that. But yeah, like once you have your income secure, just look at the things that will make you happy once you go to the place. So like for me, if I'm in a cold place, I don't want to stay there long. Like if I'm in a place that's super expensive, I don't want to stay there long. If I'm in a place where people aren't that friendly, I don't want to stay there long. So like as long as I have good weather, I have people that are at least not mean. Like I don't need like the super friendliest like Thai type people, but I just don't want people being like angry or whatever, or racist or whatever it is. So once I have that, then after that it's kind of like everything else is kind of a bonus. So like it kind of just depends on what you like and what type of environment you want to be in. And then just do your research as far as like people. I wouldn't really trust like facts and all that type of stuff. Like obviously some facts matter, but at the end of the day, it's going to be what you want to get out of the experience. So I feel like videos and looking at people's Instagrams and actually connecting with people is the best way to do that versus like reading like the statistics and stuff like that. But unless it's crime. If you're looking at crime statistics, then that's kind of like a good thing to be like, all right, should be kind of wary of going to this place.
All right, let's switch gears. So that's kind of the travel piece. Now let's talk about the fitness piece.
Yeah.
So we talked about it a little bit, your younger years, but how did PassportHealthy come about?
Yeah, so my brand, which was now just become me, is Abnormal Fitness. So basically, when I lived here in Thailand in 2013, like up until that point, I was always in a sport. So like I was always doing track, I was always doing football or something. And like, so like I always had someone to push me, I always had a team to be there with. And then once I graduated, I'm like, wait, I don't go into training. Like I don't have coaches no more, I don't have teammates. I'm like, I just gotta motivate myself. Like I never really thought of motivation because I always just had it added with the coaches and everyone that was there. So like being by myself, especially when my brother left, I was just like in a gym where it didn't have much equipment, and I'm like, how am I supposed to work out here? Like I can't go to a track, I can't do none of this stuff. And it was just like I just felt lost. And I'm just like, and I looked online for people that had stuff for people that were traveling, and like I saw a video or two, but I didn't see any dedicated like people or products or anything to like travel fitness. So I'm just like, let me do that. Like I'm not a personal trainer, I'm not a certified personal trainer or anything like that, but I'm like, I know how to stay in decent shape.
He's being humble though, he knows his shit. He knows a lot about fitness.
But I'm just like, all right, if I can stay in shape, I could just give the same advice to other people that want to do the same. So I'm just like, Let me be that person. Let me have that channel. And that's how I started Abnormal Fitness. And then I wanted to create an actual guide, a full guide with videos and workouts and talking about how to eat healthy while you're on an airplane, or like you're traveling multiple days through the week, or you don't have a gym most of the time. So I wanted to put together a full guide so people can follow that and be able to actually not just stay in shape, but actually get in shape if they're out of shape. And that's how Passport Healthy came about.
I think it's great because if you're on a lot, you know, just being in different like digital nomad groups on Facebook, things like that, you see it, I'd say like at least once a month, probably more often. People are like, what are you guys doing to stay in shape? I'm having a hard time staying motivated while I travel. Yeah. So it's definitely like, you know, you're fulfilling a need that people, you know, whether it's nomads or business travelers or whatever it is, you know, people are looking for that. They're hungry for that. So,
for sure.
You know, nowadays we live in the age of too much information, right?
Yeah.
And I think especially both with nutrition and exercise, but I think you go online, you see people like, you know, be vegan, do keto, do, you know, paleo. There's like 50 different kinds of diets, and I think a lot of people get intimidated by that because they're like, I don't know, who do I trust?
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to people that feel intimidated by the overwhelming amount of information that's out there?
Yeah. So I think the most important part to first do before you look at like any specific person to say, or even before you decide to go keto or to do CrossFit or do whatever, is to just learn the basics of your body. Learn how body fat, or how you lose body fat, learn how you build muscle, learn how all of these different things happen. So then you can kind of decide for yourself, like, all right, I know I need to be in a caloric deficit to be able to lose weight. And if you're watching this right now saying, what is a caloric deficit? And you're into like workouts and all that type of stuff, figure that stuff out before you do another workout, before you eat another meal. I'm gonna say before you eat another meal. I'm trying to starve yourself. But like, if you're seriously looking to get results, like you have to know what calories do. You got to know what certain foods do to your body. You got to know the effects of having too much sugar and all this type of stuff. Like once you know the basics, once you know that, like fitness isn't that complicated. Like at least for like losing weight, like building muscle can be a little more complicated with like sets and reps and rest time and all that type of stuff. But when it comes to anyone that's looking to lose weight, like it's literally, once you're in a caloric deficit, like that's what you need. Like that's what you need to get to. So I would say like learn about that, learn about caloric intake. And then from there, depending on what your goals are body-wise, like if you want a slim figure, if you want big muscles, if you want whatever, just like look up stuff on that. And I'm not saying like know the definitions of each muscle fiber and all that type of stuff, but know the basics to the point where you can say, all right, I know I want to get to this goal, and I know I can try these different things in order to get there. So versus just thinking like, oh, if I switch from what I'm doing now and I go vegan, I'm gonna lose weight or I'm gonna put on muscle. Like just because you're vegan, just because you're pescatarian, just because you're eating keto, just because you're fasting, doesn't mean you're gonna lose weight or put on weight. It's like, it has to do with it, but at the same time, it's not the main thing. So I think once you learn the basics, you can choose what you want to go to and then try different things out. Like for me, I tried keto out, and it's not for me. I don't like it. Like I like to have carbs, I like to eat fruit, I like to have juice, I like to have that type of stuff. So for me, like keto is not cool. I could try other stuff, but for me, intermittent fasting is the best way for me because I can still eat like kind of junk food. So like 80% of what I eat is healthy and like 20% is not so healthy, but at the same time, it's not like the worst. So like for me, that's just my best thing to do. But some people like just need to eat food. Like some people like can't go like and wake up and go train and do all that type of stuff and not have food until the nighttime. Like right now it's like almost 4 o'clock and I still haven't ate nothing. I'm gonna go train Muay Thai from 4 to 6. Still not gonna eat nothing. I'm gonna go home, shower, and then around 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm gonna eat something. But some people don't want to do that or don't like to do that. And some people can do the keto life. So I think once you learn the basics, you try a few things out and then just see what works for you and then track your stuff. If you really want to get results, you got to track it. So you can say, oh, I did this thing, but it didn't work. But it's like, were you tracking what you ate? Were you tracking your body progress? Were you tracking anything? So yeah, I think like just finding the stuff that you enjoy, but at the same time, you know that it can get you the results that you want to get. But learning the basics is the absolute most important thing. I would say.
Definitely. I think, I mean, just my own 2 cents, I think that's the greatest advice that you could give someone because, you know, a lot of time people on the internet, they tend to be very dogmatic. They're like, no, this is the only way. This is it. Like, this is the only thing that's going to get you results.
Yeah.
And usually it's because they're trying to sell something, right?
Yeah.
But really, it's like we're all different. My body's different than your body. And so, like what you said, it's just finding out what works best for you. And that answer is the same. I mean, excuse me, that answer is not the same for everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great advice. All right, so we talked a little bit about how Passport Healthy came about and kind of filling that void in the space of providing travel advice to, fitness advice to travelers.
Yeah.
So what do you think that people tend to struggle with a lot? Like, what have you noticed when they're traveling and just trying to get those workouts in?
Yeah, so the funny thing is, before I called Passport Healthy, it was called The World is Your Gym. So it pretty much answers it. Like, the big thing people are saying is like, I don't have a gym. Or if they do have a gym, it's in their hotel or Airbnb, where it's like a bunch of like treadmills and bikes and all that type of stuff, and maybe like a Bowflex machine. There's no squat rack, there's no heavy weights and all that type of stuff. So it's like you're not getting the same type of workouts in that you are used to getting home. So that is one of the biggest things, or one of the things I hear the most is like, oh, if I don't have a gym, like, how am I supposed to do it? Well, you don't need a gym. Like, if you see like the bodies of like gymnasts and stuff, if you see the bodies of all of these people that are working out outside of the gym, you don't absolutely need it. Like, not to say that I don't like going to the gym, because I still do. I go like once a week now, but there's times where I go like as my main thing. But at the same time, it's saying you don't need it. So yeah, you can do workouts pretty much anywhere you are. Like in Passport Healthy, I have workouts I'm doing inside of the swimming pool. I got workouts I do on the beach. I got workouts I do at a park and all that different type of stuff. So I think that's one of the biggest things that people say is the gym. And then another one would just be not knowing exactly what you're going to be able to eat. So like, obviously when you're home, you know the restaurant you're going to, you know what's going to be in your grocery store. But when you go to different countries, they might not have that specific thing that you have. They might not have that brand, or they might not have that thing that you're used to getting. So I think one of the biggest things is getting used to being able to, if you're not cooking, just having meals that you know you can get pretty much anywhere. Like, it's going to be hard to go to a country that doesn't have chicken, or doesn't have fish, or doesn't have fruits and vegetables and stuff like that.
The basics, the foundation. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have milk. So as long as you're able to know meals that you can have with that type of stuff, like, then you should be good. But like, if you're like, no, I only eat
some particular
Italian
brand of
super flame and pasta version 3, like 2nd edition, like, you're gonna be shit out of luck. Like, you're not gonna have too much fun with that. But yeah, like, as long as you have like your core things that you know you can eat pretty much no matter where you go, then yeah, then you're good. Then you're like, all right, I know I can eat this much of this and this much of that, and I know I can get this no matter where I go. So like, having those meals, those go-to meals that you know roughly, if you eat this much, you're going to be able to maintain or get whatever result that you want in terms of like your fitness.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it's interesting because I think we've been so programmed culturally where like our fitness is so compartmentalized, right? It's like the gym is for fitness, and you can't do fitness outside of the gym, right? It's like you have to go to this one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think because people are through marketing and whatever programmed that way, they're like, oh wait, you know, like, no, the world is your gym. You're like, you can actually work out anywhere. Yeah. And I mean, it's not my favorite place to work out anymore, but even I still go to the gym too. You know what I mean? Like, there's just certain equipment or certain things that I like to use in the gym that are just fun to get a workout in. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just feels good to lift heavy weights. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like, just every Sunday I go and I squat and I deadlift. Like, it's hard to like emulate that without some heavy ass shit. Like, something
it's just,
heavy to
you
do
know,
it with.
yeah,
So it's like,
absolutely. So it just feels good. But it's to say that if you, for whatever period of time, don't have that, not the end of the world. It doesn't mean stop working out.
Yeah.
It just means, you know, be creative and use whatever's around you. So
change it up.
Definitely. What can we look forward to in the future with Passport Healthy?
So with Passport Healthy, so the course is out there, like with the video training, talking about the workouts and health and all that type of stuff. So I'm going to continue to add stuff to that. But one of the main things I'm excited about doing is kind of similar to what we're doing here, having this interview. So like, there's people who live in different places or just travel all the time in different places that are able to stay in shape. So it's like I already shot a few, but I haven't put them out. So basically, I just wanted to dive deep into like exactly what they're doing, exactly what they're eating, like what their food styles are, like where they work out, how they work out in different places. So it's like so I interviewed one woman I know that lives in Bali that does yoga, and she's a yoga teacher and stuff like that. And then over here, there's people that do Muay Thai and all that type of stuff. So just content that's really specific to places and certain topics, so people can see that and be like, oh snap! Like when I go to Chiang Mai, I can go to Hong Kong, or when I go to
Shout out to Hong Kong.
Yeah, Hong Kong. That's where we're about to go, like real soon.
Yeah.
And when I go to Bali, I can go to, I forgot the name of it, but basically when you go to certain places, you know you can. If you're a surfer, you can go to this place. If you're a boxer, you can go to this place. If you want to do yoga, you can go to this place. And just more talking. So just talking on different topics. So like how to somewhat get a healthy meal or snacking when you're going to 7-Elevens, which are everywhere here. So it's like when you don't have time to go sit down at a restaurant, but you're about to go for an adventure or something, like what should you grab? And just small topics of videos that I notice myself that I'm thinking like, oh, like maybe this would be helpful to someone else if they knew, like, all right, so when I'm doing this, I could maybe use his suggestions to stay a bit healthier.
Dope. Looking forward to it, man.
Knockout. You